Speak. Okay, no, I see little stuff from Martin. I think I'm getting his audio. Say hello, Martin.
Hello.
Got it. Yep. Just want to make sure I had your audio. All right, we are live. Welcome back, everybody, to the Legacy of Mythal campaign. Last week in episode 57, the heroes continued running their errands after returning to Waterdeep. Zemsta visited Rian Nightshade and found out that his twin brother was believed to be the brainwashed captain of Severin's personal guard and a champion of Tiamat. Luna reported in to Melanor Fellbranch and found King Melindrak waiting for her. He believed that the worm speaker seen working with the green dragon in the misty forest was his exiled son Narenvain, and requested that he be captured alive and brought back to Waterdeep. Alamir messaged the group to say that he was having dinner with his friend Nair, and so the rest of the group convened at the Safe Haven Inn for dinner. They were approached by a young harper named Elcoric and given 120 platinum each for their service over the past 4 weeks. An oversight that was being corrected by Remalia Haventree. As he left, Luna spotted a young boy looking in through the door of the inn, and Spot recognized the young urchin Olo from Luna's description. He went outside to talk to him, or her, as he and Luna knew the boy was really a disguised girl, and she revealed that the Blackcoats had been onto her from the start and had tasked her with delivering a note to the group. Spot took the note and told her to go hide. The note said that Alamir had been abducted, and a quick message to him received no answer, and that he had been taken to the Dermos storage warehouse in Dockward. The heroes had until dawn to show up alone and try to save him. So they set out with Luna scouting ahead as an owl and found the warehouse and the surrounding area to be extremely quiet and the front gates open. They entered to find Alamir's battered body lying on the floor in the warehouse, and were immediately engaged by wizards throwing lightning bolts, hellfire, and bursts of arcane energy, and thieves and assassins attacking with envenomed missiles and swords. One of the thieves was invisible and did something to Hef and Jinkin, who both dropped unconscious after just a round. Zemsta took out the thief and healed Hef to bring him and brought him back to consciousness, but Jinkin was still out in the street. Spot attempted to drag Alamir's body to safety, but found it to be just an illusion. So the battle continued, with Spot being hit over and over again, but able to ignore the poison and most of the area effect magic, and Luna casting and being hit by magic and going down under a barrage of arcane bolts. Zem ran in and healed Luna, who stood and successfully held 3 of the enemies in place. The remaining enemies ran, and Spot caught up with them, including their leader, and accepted their surrender. So 6 of the Blackcoats were captured, and in another room they found both Alamir and Nair. And that's where we return to our story. Alamir, you awake. The last thing you remember was leaving the restaurant with Nair and a strange man nodding politely to you and quickly reaching out and touching your arm. And there was a pinprick, and you began to respond and went to cast a spell, but you quickly fell unconscious before you could get anything off. You awake now, and you notice next to you Nair is also rising. She had been trussed up and bound, and is rubbing her wrists and sitting up, trying to regain full motion and use of her feet and arms.
Okay.
So, what did you guys like to do at this point?
Well, first Slorko is going to make sure he's going to ask in there how she is.
Who's Slorko?
I don't know. I have no idea who that is, but Alamir's going to ask Nair how she is.
Sorko is the heavily drugged individual in his resting bed.
There you go.
She is fully responsive. Says, "Oh, I'm fine. What? I remember the being jumped from the sides as we walked out of the restaurant, and then I woke up here. I've been awake for a while, watching you lie there breathing you very shallowly. I was worried.
Alamir asks the others, "Where are the others?" As he sees Luna and Zemsta.
Mm-hmm.
One might say they're detained. We will be bringing them back with y'all.
So
I think I just confused Alamir.
Yeah, so Alamir's going to get up, dust himself off, and look at the...
Yep. So you can travel out. So you're in a small little room. It's a storage room with lots of crates and small barrels and sacks and stuff. And you go out the door, and you're in a large warehouse.
Uh-huh.
And you notice that you see burnt piles of stuff, ashes on the ground. And you see Spot and Hef and Jinx keeping watch over a bunch of bound and gagged black-clad individuals.
There was no other movement?
Nope.
Then...
I mentioned we need to take these in and turn them over to town leadership for further interrogation.
5, 6, 7. I think I've reached my limit. Let me look. 7.
Your limit of...
No, it's not really a limit. It's just how many we can get through. Alamir poses. I can open up a teleportation circle, but that'll get us only halfway across the town. I say we just do your famous flamingo hop tie and just drag him out by rope. Oh, no. We can even just put a tensor's floating disc up and throw him on top of that and just float him out of here.
That's true. 10 foot. But that would... You'd be able
5
to... I would say that you could squeeze 8 people onto one. So, but sitting down, hanging over the edge with a couple in the middle.
Oh, no. They'd be laying on top of each other.
You could... Yeah, with them tied up, you could get 8.
It's only 3
6
feet
of
in
them.
diameter. So we're just going to...
I thought it was 10 feet. I thought it was 10
It
feet.
says it's
No, it's a 3 foot.
3 feet in diameter. So basically, they'd be thrown one on top of another in like a wheel for
Right.
wagon wheel formation. Can hold up to 500 pounds. So however many that we could throw on.
Interesting.
The rest of them we just drag along.
Well-
Smallest one put in a bag of holding.
Can hold his breath.
The other option, of course, is to keep...
Well, you
is
could
to-
put an air bubble over their head, right? And then shove them all into the giant portable hole.
That's
Then they could all breathe and we can move them.
totally forgot that air bubble spell though.
You have an air bubble?
I forgot the spell. I
Oh.
forgot how to do it.
So...
But I could say I did it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I was going to say, I mean, you could just let them walk, keep them, with half leg movements and keep the upper bodies tied up.
Oh yeah. Sounds
Okay.
good to me.
And
drag
I'll
them
keep
down.
Tie 'em around their knees so they can move the bottom of their feet, but they can't move past their knee, which means they just walk slower.
Yep.
How far are we? What's our distance? How far are we going?
To a police station.
Well,
You can just wrap them at the ankles and just hang them
I
around.
could just
my,
run somewhere really fast and
Yeah,
get somebody and come back.
with my 29 strength. Just hook them to my back and
Put
I'll.
Hello,
haste on me, I'll be there twice as fast.
Dragon.
um, Yeah, let's see. I know where.
If I could upcast it, I would, but I can't.
You can up. It doesn't do anything, but you can always upcast. You can do it.
Then I'll
It just doesn't
upcast.
do anything more.
All right, then I'll upcast a haste and let him go do the run.
Yep. So I know. Yeah.
I mean, technically, you do haste. I could carry one of them, probably
With
still
you.
more than twice as fast as you, and run them somewhere one at a time while you guys walk.
The question is, do we know where the nearest constabulary is?
Well, the headquarters are to the north in the castle ward, but if I will say, roll me 2d10, make a luck roll.
2d10. Oh, I didn't roll it. There we go. 6 and 4, 10.
Nice. So, oh wait, 6 and 4, 10. No, I'm sorry. That's like
Middle.
totally average.
Not nice.
So
If it was a 1d10, that'd be nice.
so it's going to, but that means that for you moving as fast as you do, it will take you no more than 3 minutes to run around in the dock ward.
If he's putting haste on me, yeah, my speed is 140 feet normal.
Yep.
And then if I book it, with, sprinting, then it's
I cast haste on
210.
So,
It's
yes.
in game.
Normally it would take you maybe 10 minutes. Running around would take 10 minutes to find something, but it actually would take you like a quarter of that. So in a little over 2 minutes of running around, you find a group of City Watch.
While he's running, do we want to question these guys?
Okay, 210 feet per second? No, per 6 seconds.
For 6 seconds.
So take that divided by 6. So, 210 feet per second is 143 miles per hour that I'd be running. So divided by 6. That's still pretty damn fast.
That is.
You're doing the 4-minute mile.
So, and the way that the speed works, so how fast are you in a round? 280, right?
Normal speed is 70, so with haste and bonus action dashing,
140. Yep.
I get 210 because it's 3 times that. So that would
Okay.
put me at 23.8 miles per hour is of how fast I'm running. I'm running about the speed of,
Yep.
regular traffic inside of a city in a car.
Nice. So this is a traveling group of there are five guards, a little larger group than you would find in some other parts of the city traveling together, but that's because you're in dock ward. So they usually travel in larger groups. So you tell them kind of what happened, and they follow you back. So Luna, are you attempting to question while?
I asked Smock if we want to question him, since he has a special ability, I think. Was it him or Alamir?
Intimidation, that'd be Smock.
Yep.
Centered on your point of within range. Does not travel with the creature, though, it looks like.
Well, we got some that's left here, so we'd be questioning those while
Pick a couple.
took-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
we just tell
could-
them the other one's probably going to rat him out, so they may as well talk. Beat him to it.
Yeah, it is an area effect spell, so we could do a bunch of them if we have a bunch of them. Then you got to ask the questions.
We have 6 prisoners?
6?
And I
Could do it.
assume then you're looking to do a zone of truth.
Yeah. Yep.
And I suspect we'd be asking questions: who hired them? How much is Bounty up to? Who else is out there getting hired?
You should be able to move it around. Can you not move it?
Nope.
And then look again. It says controlled by you.
Is it on the right layer?
It's on the token layer. Yep. You should be able to move it. There you go.
You're moving it. Somebody else just moved it.
No, that was you.
Sure.
And
That
I
was
was
me?
moving, and then you moved it back. So you did something.
Huh.
Should be able to just click and drag.
Nope.
No? Huh.
I can turn it when I go up. I actually have the square around the circle, and then up on the top it has the little dot. I can actually rotate that, but I can't move.
It's
Just
something
click
got to
in the
be with
middle
the
of the image?
interface. I just made it everyone can move it, so someone else tried to move it.
Yeah.
I can click on it, but I can't. I can click on it, but I can't move it. Let me try this
I can't
way.
either. I
I'm
get the
using my
square
arrow
around
keys.
it, but I can't move it at all.
Okay. Yeah, the square, and then I get the like I say, the little nub at the top. And if I grab it, I can rotate the square, but I
Huh.
can't move the circle.
Wow. Because it's a token, and I set it to be
We've used it
controlled by
before,
everybody.
and I have moved it before.
Hold on.
So
Let me do C. Let me do one more thing. Player permissions to C. Save. Does that change anything?
Nope.
No.
no.
Wow. Well, that sucks. What? Well, wait, but this was working last week because
It was.
yeah,
Yes.
because you guys were moving your stuff around. Here, let me just redo it real quick. That is really, I'm on the token layer.
Roll20 did some type of update again, probably.
Probably. And so
Make an improvement.
yeah, they made an improvement, and now so all players save. Anyone move it now, or it's same thing?
Same thing.
Same thing.
Wonderful. All right. Well, and we know that we know you kind of want that right now. So
Yep.
oh wait, somebody
Yep.
moved it.
Was not me.
I kept
Oh,
clicking.
now I can move it too.
Hang on, let me try. Hey, I can move it. Woohoo!
Yay! All right. That's weird. Maybe because it was up in that spot, there was something weird with the map. Who knows?
Maybe it's because it's half hanging out of the map.
Or something with the lighting where it was overlapping. I don't know because I turned all the lighting off. Anyway, all right, it's working. So, Zone of Truth goes up. Do you say anything to them before you put it up?
He's like the great Oz. He's hiding behind
I
the
was
wall.
going to say, he's got to go out there with it, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's behind the wall.
Yeah. Bahamut has granted us special ability right now because in order to get information. So what you're going to feel is probably something that's going to compel you to tell the truth and tell it like it is. And don't resist it, because if you do, most heinous pain will come your way. So I just recommend you don't resist it. We don't want to talk about the last people that did this. So just go ahead and go with it and tell the truth, and everything will be better.
Go ahead and roll an intimidation check.
Oh, if I had known it was intimidation, I would have taken it even up another notch. So yeah. All right.
Well, you did mention heinous pain.
That's true. I won! Woo!
We're rolling good tonight, guys.
Wait,
The dragon is looking better and better all day long.
I continued from the last weeks. It's been a rough 2 weeks. Yeah.
They just kind of all look at you and nod. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to do like this. Okay. I don't think it's going to matter. So they all fail or allow themselves to be compelled to tell the truth. All right, what do you want to know? That was the black-robed individual, the warlock.
Are you in charge of this group?
Yeah, I'm in charge. I was.
He won't be anymore. Oh, wait, I'm not around.
Yeah. He just he did a quick rush by. Who hired you?
I believe, from what we know, you already have that information, so we were hired by Rathmodar. That's who took out the contract.
How do you contact him?
What's that?
How do you contact him? How do you contact Wrath, or he contacts you?
I don't handle such things. That is done by others in our group.
Who would that be?
That is done by the Sparrow.
Okay, thank you.
How do we find the Sparrow?
Well, I'm fairly certain that you do not find the Sparrow. And there was already plans in the works for the organization to go into hiding if we were not successful.
So it's time to hide? Or is it not time to hide yet?
I would not be surprised if many of our order left the city, or have all, and if very likely already have or are on their way.
And where would they go? And how would they contact each other?
There are ways to leave signs. And as for where they would go, I don't think they would all go together.
Okay. So different destinations, unplanned per se, but then, and then, so how would they regroup, or like you say, signs? What would those signs look like?
He kind of goes, so next to him, right, is all of the charcoal and ash on the ground, and he takes a foot and he kind of roughly draws a simple symbol on kind of like a cloaked figure with two eyes.
Okay.
Something like that. Something
Okay.
simple.
And what does that basically mean? If you're in a you're in a location, it tells you to go somewhere. Where would that destination be?
It would be a sign for that there are members, or at least a member within the vicinity. And there would be other things to be found with it. Codes, like arrows and numbers and things to be deciphered. There is no specific basic information of the underworld. Things that anyone with any knowledge of such might be able to decipher. I'm sure you could find people to help you figure such things out.
Yep. Thank you. Yep. So what was the plan here? Basically just kill us off and then you'd go collect your bounty, or what? Or you already
Oh.
collect? bounty, or what was the plan? Because this did not go well, obviously. And so, what happens now? That was 2 questions, I know. So
We've already been paid, which is why disappearing after taking such a high-profile contract and failing twice, there's not much left to do in terms of restoring our reputation.
So should we just disembowel you and let you die here? Is that more honorable than just slinking away?
And he looks directly into your eyes and smiles and says, "That's not necessary. There is life after such situations."
I would agree, but you were about to take our lives, so explain.
And he shrugs and says, if you wish to kill us as opposed to turning us in, then do so.
Okay.
You notice that he truly seems unconcerned. The other 5 look slightly more concerned than he does.
I would assume when I said that, several kind of winced, or like, whoa, wait a minute, what? What did he just say?
They are looking at him, like paying close attention to the conversation and looking at him, looking like they don't necessarily agree with his approach to the conversation.
Okay.
We take mental notes. Who has those facial?
Yeah, the biggest reactions. Whoever has the biggest reaction. Yeah.
The other 5 in general have very similar reaction. He's the only one that doesn't really seem concerned.
He's got higher status than the rest.
Yeah,
But I'm not there.
and already has a plan of some sort. Yep. By the way, where are you? You're running these guys, one guy back and forth at a time?
I don't know. I was going to get help and then bringing them back.
Well, he went and found them. It took a while, and they don't move as fast as Spot. So they're.
So I'm carrying them one at a time back to us.
Okay, that's why I was asking here.
I don't think they really want you to do that. So
no, that was a joke.
Yeah, they are making good time.
I'm running around them, and I run off, and then I run back, and I go, "Come on, guys, what's taking you so long?" And then I run off. And I run back with a coffee and a donut. I'm like, "Come on, you need some coffee? Let's go!" And then I run off.
Alamir, do you have any questions or any other concerns or better questions than we're already asking?
No, Alamir basically is just staring at them the whole time, taking all their information in. Not that he would know who the Sparrow is. At least he doesn't think he knows, unless the Sparrow's like the big mafia boss that everybody knows. Then he's just gonna take everything in and make sure these guys get to the authorities. Now, part of me is thinking maybe we shouldn't bring them to the authorities. Maybe we should be bringing them to one of the factions, because the authorities generally can be bought off.
Well, we can have the authorities escort us to one of the headquarters.
You would know that the Harpers did turn in the last ones you captured to the City Watch.
Okay, good.
To the City Watch Central in the King's, the castle area, or are all satellites linked really well? Hey, what do I know? Is this an up-and-up city when it comes to that?
The City Watch in Waterdeep is not incorruptible, but compared to many places, it's a upstanding organization.
Does any of us, myself, or Spot, or Luna, or Zemsta, whoever else is here, half. Can we name drop anyone within the watch, line?
Within the watch?
Make
Possi-
sure Captain So and So knows that they're coming because we will be contacting him within the hour.
I'm
I
sure
don't know
Hef could.
who would be. I mean, he's with the Griffins, and I don't know how uppity up the Griffins are to the City Watch. I'm
Well-
just looking at. We don't want them to not do what we're asking.
We can escort these people with the City Watch back to the headquarters, or one of the headquarters,
Yep. I mean, or
and then let them know what we're going to report back into
I want to get to
the leadership.
I mean, you figure technically, so the City Watch is a separate organization from the cavalry, but
Right.
the cavalry is a more respected elite organization. I'm sure there's some animosity and jealousy, etc., blah blah, but
Right.
any member of the cavalry would have a member of respect. Certainly, city watchmen, at least below the top levels, would defer to them
right.
in many
They'd
situations.
probably be aspiring.
And
Be
technically,
aspiring to be cavalry.
technically, even though not an active patrol member right now, Hef is considered a member of the cavalry.
Now, do we have around where we're at right now? Do we have access to a Harper communique
No.
to be able to get them that we know of? A drop point.
In fact, you don't know any of those outside of the specific people.
Okay.
I asked Alamir's friend, which I can't remember her name right now.
Nair, any
Even though I asked Nair if there's any questions she would like to ask these individuals.
She's like just kind of shrugs. Though, Jink steps forward and he's like, it would be. I'm definitely curious to know what were they using that made us fall asleep, unconscious, like whatever put us out. That was very quick, very effective. What was that?
Karari.
What's that?
I said Karari.
What's that?
It's a poison, but it's not this kind. That one will kill you off. So it's not that one.
So the warlock nods and he goes, yes. I'm sure some of you have heard of Tensabra, a very rare and effective drug. We took some of the significant funds we were given and used our contacts to acquire a few doses.
Do you have any left?
If we had more left, we would probably not be in this situation we are, would we? If we had had more doses, we would have used it on all of you.
Didn't work on me.
They
Boom.
didn't try it on you.
Would you like them to?
But that is what they used on Alamir, Hef, and Jinkin. They had 3 doses.
Good. Nair didn't get taken up.
No, she didn't. She just got knocked out and trussed up.
Oh, okay. Oh.
She's not as dangerous as you.
I think we're good. I think we should just drag these guys along, and there's a
Is there
spot
any
coming
other,
back. Just keep handing them off.
is there any other groups here in town that have been paid to try to take us down
Not that
or
I know
interfere?
of. And if they are, I doubt anyone would try to follow through on it after our attempts and failures. There's very few who are willing to take on high-profile assassination.
I'm ready to take them in if y'all are.
Yep. And about
No
that
one can
time,
think of anything else.
Spot arrives with the 5 City Watch.
Dragging my feet so slow, just like rolling my eyes. Hey, we're finally here.
I do ask them real quick. Is there anyone that is on the inside that you have paid off?
Not that I know of.
Thank you.
All right. This is good enough. Here you go. Basically 5 guards. And they come in. You tell them kind of what happened, and the sergeant steps forward and he's like, "Oh yes, I've heard of the attempt on your group's life by the Blackcoats. It was in the last week's report, or a few days ago.
Yeah.
So they tried again, did they? Well, we will make sure that they are not in any position to do so again."
We'll be reporting to the upper echelon leadership, and I'm sure they'll have more questions to follow of them
Well, I am
with their
certain.
special means.
Yes. That is standard procedure, of course. And they come in, they look everyone over, and you see he does a little call on his on a sending stone device that he has, and they begin to gather everyone up and bring them out into the courtyard. And within a minute, two of the magisters, the mages of the city, show up. Looks like they literally teleport into the street outside, which is a relatively major intersection for this section of the warehouses.
Right.
And they walk in and they look everything over, make sure that gags are properly placed, identifying the mages, making sure that they are not going to be able to cast spells or do anything. And then the whole group of them begins to walk out. All right.
Well, where do we want to go next?
Do you want Hef to go with them? Or are you comfortable with the guards and the mages taking the group?
I'm
I can
comfortable either way.
escort them.
Either Hef, Hef and Spot, or Hef and I would happily escort the group just to make sure everything's secure in the proper location and delivered properly.
Very good. All right. So
Spot, you on it, or do you want me to do it?
Since I'm running both those characters, I can do it.
Run it
And
away.
both of them that I'm running are gone.
Okay. Poof.
All right.
And Aller is going to make sure Nair gets back to where she needs to get to safely.
Fantastic. And I'm
I
gonna get
volunteer to help escort y'all if y'all like.
That sounds fine.
Okay, I guess Jinx can go with us and Simpster too if he likes.
Yeah.
Yep. No,
Or
absolutely.
those two can go together.
Yep. Did we search this area, by the way, thoroughly?
No, you didn't.
No.
Okay.
Let's do that real quick.
Okay. So I'm going to say, obviously, Hef and Spot go off with the group because they're not going to hang around and wait. All right. What do you? So all that's really left in here. There's one dead body, and there, you know, there's you had already. Well, there was a quick but not thorough search done of the offices that Spot had done. You had a little place where you found Alamir and Nair trussed up in the little storage area. And there are some areas. There's an area in the back, and there's an area in the upper left.
I definitely searched the body. I'm sure we had searched the those we took alive for weapons and stuff.
So the interesting thing so if you searched all of them, actually, well, I'll just assume you search everyone, weapons and such. The interesting thing is that you found a good amount of gems, money, basically gold, platinum, a couple pieces of silver, and gems. And I'm just gonna round about. Tell you what, somebody, Luna, you're the one that initiated it, so you roll me 2d10.
Okay. Almost back to my keyboard. There we go.
Oh no, okay.
Above average.
So all right, so 12 times 54, you find 648 gold worth of gems and coins, which is a pretty decent amount for this group.
We want to just throw that in bag of holding for now.
Yeah, that works.
So somebody want to mark that in?
I wrote it down in my sheet, but do we have an official place to do it other than?
Alamir put it in the notes.
Okay.
Yep, Alamir's taking care of that usually.
Yeah,
it's in there.
Given the conversation that you had with them, it would make sense that everybody probably was carrying a good amount of their ready cash, in case they needed to flee.
Makes sense.
From this encounter.
They're walking money.
Yep. Exactly. All right.
Find anything on the dead assassin?
That includes what you found on them.
Okay.
Other than that, like there's scimitars, short bows, light crossbows, daggers. I think that was basically it. All of it normal. So the storage of stuff in here, nothing special. So it's a lot of materials, construction materials, nails, ingots, various bolts. Like there's lots of rope. Like no silk, no high-end items, but basic materials for pulley construction. So basic engineering, basic construction. There's vats of tar, things like that. Bolts of insulative cloth.
So they just found a warehouse they knew they could use for the night and not be interrupted. Sounds like.
Yep. Either they appropriated one or knew the people or something. But so the only thing of note is that in the back room, you guys can see where I ping, right? Because I think I turned.
Yeah, it's pinging black. But yeah.
Oh, it's pinging in black? Hold on. I'll fix that. I will fix that.
I'm outside, so I'm not there.
So you're saying whether it's dark or not, either way, you don't see it?
Either way.
There you go. So how about right here? So in there is a door, and the door is locked.
Anybody pick locks?
Well, 2 of the 3 people who picks locks have left.
And
So
Zemsta has a lockpick set,
I thought Jinkin
left
can do it
hand
too.
and right hand.
Jinkin does.
She was practicing, yeah, or he was.
He can attempt it. So he will attempt this. Actually, he's really, really good at it. Probably better than anyone else.
Yep.
Whoa. But he rolled a 1.
Pulled it from Zemsta's playbook.
Nobody's assisting him? Come on.
There's nobody left who can. You have to be proficient.
Can somebody give him inspiration?
Didn't say assisting was, good or not. I just said assisting, like, no, pick it there. And he's probably just staring at her going, shut up. Thus he snapped his tool.
So yeah, he like goes, oh, this, I don't understand. This is, and he steps back and he's like, but wait, that doesn't, but it's a simple lock. It's not that difficult. And he looks it over carefully and he says, no, that's not going to work. This lock is magically sealed. The door is sealed with an arcane lock.
Dispel.
1 second. I think I have a dispel magic. Let me double check. And yes. And I do have a spell slot left.
Okay.
Now the question is, I'm gonna upcast 1 level.
Okay, so you're doing a 4th level dispel. I only have to look it up. Without a doubt,
You know it.
arcane lock is, I think it's 1st or 2nd level. So you cast dispel magic and you dispel the arcane lock. And
Well done.
Huh? He casts the dispel at 4th level.
Yep. I was looking at, maintenance of slot maintenance. I had extra slots there.
Yeah, and arcane lock is 2nd level. All right, so it's unlocked. You open it up, and inside is a small room with a staircase leading down into the basement. And
Can I see anything?
From what happened at the end, that right where Zem is right now is where Spot stopped the warlock, along with 2 others. This is where they were headed.
So this was their escape path in theory. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
I wonder if this is the one that ran outside us chasing. Wonder if they disappeared to one of these and came up this way then. Can I see anything down at the bottom?
Down there, it is a small cellar that probably is about it is probably about the size of, okay, where's the measure? So square, whoops, no, not that. So there's a cellar down there that's roughly about that big. Snap to corner. So it's like this. There you go. There's a cellar down there roughly this big. And it is, and then from there and down there is an already opened like secret door into a tunnel that runs. It's a rough-hewn tunnel that runs off into the darkness. It's not even. It's like about 4 feet wide. 4 feet wide, about just a little under 6 feet tall.
Okay.
So we'll wait for Hef and Spot to come back, I would imagine.
I don't think there was I don't think that they were coming back.
We're going back to the inn after we follow them back, so
We can always call them back on our
you
sending
can message
stones.
us. Yep.
And we would, and in the meantime,
The trail is still
Go explore it. You
Yeah,
guys
that's what-
got this. It's all good.
nothing can go wrong. Is that what I just heard? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Considering we're rolling ones, a lot can go wrong.
Nah, you're
before
got
we
it.
go down there, I'm guessing everybody in this group, I'm going to center this on group and cast Mass Cure Wounds. So,
Okay, you good for 50 or 60? I could use that.
So what's happening with Nair?
Well, she's being escorted back to wherever she is, whether she wants to go to the inn that she's staying. Is she staying at the castle keep, offsite
Okay.
keep?
Just
So
why do you guys want to go explore the tunnel? They said that if they failed, the rest of their group would disappear.
That's what they
We've
said.
got them caught, and we're taking them in, which means somebody's probably watching somewhere along the way that there's going to know that we're escorting 7 of them away.
are there any
6
more
of
hid
them.
down here, though?
So word is going to get out before you go explore something that might just go. So I wouldn't be worried about it, if anything, I guess, to go down there and not.
Yep.
Unless there's traps, but just be cautious and use your 10-foot pole.
So I
that's
assume
why I'm
you guys
healing
are having
everybody.
This conversation right through the
Through our
pins.
sending stones, yeah.
Hef says, from what I've learned in some of my recent training, there is a whole undercity tunnel network. It is a labyrinth of various hideouts and tunnels for all of for the underground organizations in the city. If you don't know where you're going, you could run into any of them.
The Harpers would probably have something down there too that they would have told us about.
I've heard that it also connects to Undermountain.
Oh boy.
At one end.
Okay.
Do we want to go off track and go do some Undermountain diving, guys? This could totally take a twist here.
I was going to say, I see a fork in the road right there. Let's bend over to pick it up.
He gives us the opportunity, and we go running at
Yep.
23 miles per hour.
You could just go to the yawning portal, it's your choice.
It's an option. I'm not quite ready, but
Everybody in this room has.
We fought 2 dragons. I think we're
probably
ready.
need, at least a month to prep, but whatever you want to do.
Well, you get a week. So there.
Everyone in this room has 41 health
Ooh.
added.
Excellent.
Do you need more? I can do another round if we want to look in that first room, or if we want to leave it and have somebody else.
You're just using spell slots is all you're doing right now. So
I am full
if
for
you're
what
going to
it's
go
worth.
diving into stuff, I would save any kind of spells you got on anything, whether it's the staff or slots or whatever.
Yeah. That's why I use that, just in case we go down there.
All right. Well, I'm all for go, go, go. Let's explore and find out where this really goes and if they were meeting with somebody, or come back another time. But I actually think the trail's still relatively hot, or whatever was actually going to happen, not what he told us was going to happen, is in play right now. Right?
We can look in the first room at the bottom and then make a decision from there. How's that sound?
Before my haste runs out, Tom, I want to run over to somebody who can use some magical herbs on me and just give me a little bit of healing, and then I run back to Hef. Just like a healer's kit with the healer feat, somebody that has that can give me a roll of 10 or 15. I don't know, because I'm at 1/3 of my hit points in case anything happens.
Okay. Roll 2d10. Make a luck roll.
2d10. There we go. 15. It's a little better.
That's pretty darn good. Okay.
7 and an 8.
So there are healers. There is a larger contingent of guards, along with another mage, and the mage this mage is carrying a very ornate staff with her, with a symbol on her breast that you recognize to be to align her to Blackstaff Tower. And then there is a couple of clerics of Lathander who show up, and they will give you some healing.
Yeah, I'm still bleeding profusely, even though I'm running around like a man on crack. So I'm sure they notice, and I would just be like, yeah, if you got any healing to spare. Oh, I'm not feeling too good.
So we're going to do. Let's see. Both
I
of
do.
them.
I do reach out to Hef on the pendant, and I ask him if he can send another contingent of guards and mages, whoever, to finish the search of the tunnels that we just found, that he and we just talked about.
So you gain 22 hit points, Spot.
If I don't fix my mistype, I gain 212.
I feel great.
That at least makes me stop bleeding. So yeah, that's good.
Okay. And Hef's like, yeah, like, okay. And Hef will relay that information to the current group, and the sergeant kind of takes a sighs and goes, looks and basically looks at the black staff. Well, what do you think? And the woman says, well, it's been quite a while since we've made an excursion down there, and this is a direct connection to the Black Coat, so it could be worth a look. And so she stops, and the group passes. Spot and Hef, you see this woman. So she has tight red hair, and it's kind of short cropped, except for the right side that is kind of tied into a tight braid that comes down to her shoulder. With the right side around her ear is shaved, and she is whispering softly into a sending stone, a communication device of some type, and then she opens a portal and disappears. And roughly, so you guys,
can I do a perception check to see what I could hear?
Sure, go ahead.
If she was whispering, I guess I'd try to tune in a little bit better. Oh, that's not bad. 20?
Well, nope. That's basically what you needed. Just to pick up a little bits and pieces in the beginning. You heard the names Fest and Hrasha. And she was basically giving the coordinates and saying we're doing a underground investigation, and gave the coordinates for the warehouse, and then opened the portal after waiting about 30 seconds.
Okay.
And Hef will report back to the rest of the group. I believe the members of Blackstaff Tower are going to be arriving to do an investigation of the tunnels. And indeed, within a few minutes, that you hear a woman yelling from the warehouse, from the entrance, saying, "Hello, hello, anyone here?"
We call out. We're in the far back left hand room.
And
You guys don't know who it is, and you're just like saying, "Come on
Yeah.
in."
am I in?
Oh yeah, invite him to the party.
And who am I speaking to? This is.
I step out to a point where I can see her. At what point can I see her?
Hello.
This,
Yeah, she's there.
I moved
She's
to-
there. I'm not putting tokens on. She's
yeah,
there.
I'm sure she recognizes me, and then I let her know we have the trapdoor area in the far back corner here.
Whoa, aren't we full of ourselves? You think she recognizes you?
Oh yeah. If she don't, that's okay.
And who am I addressing? I am Lady Cassitra of
I am
Blackstaff
Luna.
Tower.
I am Luna.
Luna of the Heroes of Hill's Edge.
Yes, we are.
Excellent.
At your service.
And there is a man and a woman with her. The man looks actually probably maybe even 10 years her senior, but is obviously taking orders from her. And the other woman is probably a year or two younger than you. And they walk and they follow you to the back, and they say, so this is an otherwise well-concealed, could be a well-concealed door.
Protected by magic, arcane.
Protected by magic. Trapped?
I dispelled the magic, and then Jinx was able to pick the lock and open the door. We have not went further since then.
And Jinkin will clarify, not trapped, just an arcane lock. And she goes, interesting. Very good. And she says, she lights, one of the, so the young female looks like she's probably half elf. So she and the human male each cast spells, and their eyes begin to glow, and she leads the way down, and she says, "Thank you. We shall see if there's anything immediately of interest down here."
Good luck and happy hunting. We have an individual we need to escort back home with Alamir, unless you need more assistance from us.
Oh, nope, we shall be fine. Thank you.
Good luck.
And they disappear. And I assume you're all escorting Nair back?
Me, Luna, and Zem. If Jinx and Zem.
Yep, and
They
Jinkin
went
will.
out.
I mean, at this point,
Okay.
it doesn't hurt to go in group.
Make.
All right.
Hmm.
Back down. And all right. So you all are back in the city. So travel to the city to up to. Actually, everybody's going up to Castle Ward. So you drop Nair off. You escort the Black Coats to wherever in Castle Ward the main. I think actually, if I remember correctly, it's right above the castle itself. I think up here is where those are. But if it's not, you take them wherever they need to go. I'm not going to worry.
And what time of day is it right now?
So this was evening. It is actually So yeah. So two things. First off, it's nighttime. It is probably at this point 8:30, between 8:39 and the by the time you all get up there, it's after 9 at night. The storm is still raging. So if you remember in the beginning of when you got to the warehouse, a huge storm had started. It is still raging. It's not quite as severe as it was in the beginning, but the winds are still blowing at around 20 to 25 miles an hour. There's still sheets of torrential rain pouring through, and then clear, and then briefly clearing, and then more rain coming. Thunder and lightning, which is mostly past the city to the west, but you still see it, and the thunder still rolls over the city.
Can we tell if it's natural or magical, or have no perception either way?
It's certainly not common, even for the city as you know it, but not. There's no indication that it would be magical.
Okay, good.
And you're also would know enough to know that if it was magical, probably the Blackstaff Tower and the mages would have been looking to deal
Concerned.
and research and look into that, as opposed to going into tunnels.
Nice little sidestep of the tunnel, ain't it?
Yeah. So I'm just because I'm curious. 16, 17. Yes, that's Palace Stables, Storage, Guard Barracks, C19.
Right to the north of the castle.
Yep. So that I was right. So up there would be the major offices and buildings for the City Watch. All right. And eventually everybody makes their way back to
Our inn.
Yes, to Safe Haven Inn.
Is
I'm sure one of us sent a report over to the leadership so they're aware.
Yep, absolutely. So you could
Okay.
do that. That's easy enough to do.
Yeah.
Once you're in Castle Ward and up there, you'd be able to find people
Runners.
that would be able to do
a
deliver
communique.
messages. Yeah. Yep.
Gotcha.
This
All
way
right.
we've done our reporting procedures.
You certainly have.
This is the second. Let's not have a third. So we get home. I need to eat something.
Yeah.
Anything at the inn?
No, you need to eat some. You ate dinner. Are you hungry again?
I'm hungry again. That poison burns right through you.
Yeah, there's always stuff available in the inn.
No, just eat some meat and cheese, and just something to eat, something to drink, calm the nerves before I don't pass out.
So at this point, since and Elamir, you were not around before, I assume Luna and everyone would update you on what they would have been found out about the Misty Forest and Narenvane.
Right.
So you learn about the meeting with King Melendrock and the idea that the Worm Speaker he believes to be his estranged, exiled son.
Gotcha.
And we're going to try to bring him in alive if possible. For his sake. As a favor to him.
Let's do our best.
So, at that point, you can before you go to bed, is there what's the plan for the morrow? So there is some additional information that everybody would know that I don't even think that we talked about last time. So quick overview of what you kind of know. The Misty Forest is the home of the wild elves. It is a very wild, untamed place. And you have been told, and Hef would know, that the griffins are not welcome. If you're looking to talk to the elves in the village of Althand, which is where you were directed to try to gain information, that would be very difficult. Probably not have a positive reception if you were to show up riding griffins. Griffins tend to eat deer and other things within the forest that are protected by the elves.
Bad griffin.
So it's mainly a reputation thing.
Gotcha.
Also, let's go actually all...
Would I have any contacts there or not?
No, you would not. You would know that there are certainly members of the order there, but you would not have been there in your travels. There would be no reason. You would not have had to, like, you didn't go to every single, forest and wilds area, and that would be one that you would not have gone to. So so you guys went right by the Misty Forest. So you notice there's 2 new red dots on the map. And the red dot in the Misty Forest is where the village of Althand is. It's very close to the tradeway, or relatively close, within about 30 miles. And there on the tradeway, what they're close to is a place called...
Did we get a long rest?
Well, we're not quite yet, because
okay.
you haven't... We're talking about what you might do the next morning.
Okay, makes sense.
But what is there? Okay, where is this? Right here. Is a place called... All right. How come I don't see it anymore? Where did it go? It's up here, right? Here we go. That is a place called... All right. Where did it go? How come I can't find it? Oh, do. I just had this listed, and now I can't seem to find it. I think it's called the Way In.
Would we have passed it when we came north along the trade route?
You would have stayed there, and you have stayed there multiple times in the past. Huh. I don't understand where my note went that I just had up. Okay. Anyway, yes. So you have been there. So this gives you a couple of opportunities. You could teleport unerringly to the tradeway in, or because you've familiar enough with the area, you could try to teleport to as close as you can to the edge of the Misty Forest.
What does Salamir feel comfortable doing?
I
You
guess the
just want
first
me to
question
burn my level
is
7.
the first question is, did Alamir actually take teleport?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
But the next thing I statement was, you just want me to burn my only level 7.
So I
That's
will
a
tell
hell
you.
of a fireball.
I will tell you one other thing. It's the highest level of magic she can do, but Remalia could cast teleport as well.
I would ask her.
So, and she would be willing to teleport your group there, but she's not sure how. She would probably have to. She wouldn't feel comfortable teleporting to the edge of the Misty Forest.
But the inn is a lot
But
more.
You could go to the inn, yes.
Yeah, then let's go to the inn. At least we can go there and scope it out, grab a meal, get fat a little bit, and then head in.
Okay. Oh, you know what? What do you want to bet? I did it here. There we go. Here we go. So the way in is the name, and it is 30 miles from there to Altand. Half of that if you can teleport to the edge of the forest. So if you want Remalia to teleport you there, she can do that. So
It's up to you guys. If you guys want, do we need to go to the inn? If we don't need to go to the inn, then I'll teleport us as close to the edge of the forest as possible. But to sit here and think, okay, it looks like a tree. It looks like a tree. It looks like a tree. We could be anywhere around the forest, unless I have a specific mark that I know I'm aiming for that's on a tree.
If we start off at the end, we'll know exactly where we're at, and we can travel.
That's 30
into
miles
the
away.
Forest.
So
15.
15 miles away. That's a good day's walk.
Unless there's horses we can take.
2 miles an hour is a walk. Nice pace.
Yeah, I mean, 30 miles, you could make it in a day, but that is the entire day.
Forced march.
Yeah, that's a forced march to get there in one day if you go from the inn.
Yep.
What are the odds the inn would have horses?
There are horses there, but not for sale.
Can we tell
what's wrong with our griffins?
You could go there with your
griffins.
griffins and then leave the griffins at the edge of the forest. Or you could
Can
take
we
them
teleport
in with you and take a chance.
Just tell them bad.
Can we teleport with horses?
Can you take horses?
Yeah, could we teleport in with horses? Get some horses here, and then teleport into the inn, and then ride on in?
You could, but like you're taking horses in the Misty Forest, they're probably not making it out.
You wouldn't be so open to that.
If we take our griffins and then just send them home whenever we're done, Alamir can teleport us then to where we need to go because he'd be more familiar with teleporting us back to town.
That's very true.
Yeah, the griffins, from what Hef told us, know their way home. So, if we tell them to fly us there and then send them back, then we can just teleport out when we're done.
Yep.
And that's why we have Spot.
That works too.
And and the griffins do make regular trips. So the way in would be the furthest south that Hef had worked to start groups traveling north and south. north, they would go to the work being done on the north side of the Mirror Dead Men, and to the south, the way in would be where they would fly down to and then fly back. So the Griffins would be very familiar with this path as well, and it would be relatively safe. So yes, that would be a very viable plan.
Sounds good.
Sounds like a good plan.
Okay. So go ahead and everyone take a long rest. I will give
Hip
that to
hip
Hef as
hooray!
well.
And what do we get for temp, Sam?
Yes. What are temps now? 17? 17. Yep. All right. 17. Okay. So, and what is the plan? Are you having Ramalia teleporting you, or are you teleporting closer?
No, we're taking the Griffins to the inn, or to the edge of the forest, and we're sending the Griffins home.
Got it. Okay. So and who's doing the teleport? You or Ramalia?
Nobody is teleporting in. We're taking the Griffins. We're flying them there, and then I'm going to teleport us back if we need.
Okay. So let's. So if you look,
That was
oops, wrong one. Square line to fly there.
That's 26 feet.
That's 260 miles. Divided by 80, it's going to take a little over 3 days to fly there.
Sounds like we need to have her teleport us to the inn, and then they fly to the edge of the forest. Drop us
No,
off
there
and
is
leave
one
home.
other option.
Yeah?
Ask Ramalia to open up a teleportation circle to the Daggerford Circle, and we can take our Griffins through there like we did before.
Okay.
And then we're only flying from Daggerford to the inn, or Daggerford straight to the
Which is still
the
a
edge of the
day,
forest.
day and a half.
But that cut a day and a half off.
Yep.
Well, why not just teleport to the way in with then?
Is there a teleportation circle there? And can she teleport the Griffin? Or it doesn't matter. So if she can
Are
get us to the
we-
inn, get us to the inn.
So
Are we feeling like we're under a time crunch because Tiamat showing up?
Always showing up.
So
Then yeah, she could just teleport us to the inn. That's fine.
So teleport technically is 8 willing creatures in addition to who's ever doing the teleportation. However,
So you ain't gonna be able to take Griffins that way. So
We don't need
unless
the
you put
Griffins.
them
They'd be
unless
going
you put them very quickly in and out of like a portable hole, or put.
home. Which we're not
people.
going to bring the Griffins anyway. We discussed that.
No, but you were.
We were going to use them to fly us down here. Then we were going to send the Griffins back home.
Oh, I thought you were going to go teleport down. You could do this. You could teleport to the inn with the Griffins, fly to the forest, and then have them fly home. And then you would easily make it to the. Then you only have
There in,
50
like,
more
3
miles to
hours.
go. Yeah.
Okay, then we can just do that if she can do that with the Griffins.
Okay.
whatever works. If it doesn't work. We don't do it.
Exactly. If we turn to goo, it happens.
So, okay. All right. So she is going to do a teleport. So let's see who. Luna, Spot, Sam, everybody. I guess everybody's rolled at this point. Except for Alamir. No, Alamir hasn't. Alamir, roll me percentile dice. D100, please. For the teleport. Even though it's Ramalia.
says it's rolling the dice. 91.
Oh,
No
awesome!
problem.
Like she could have sent you to somewhere that was
Sat us on chairs.
just described to her.
Uh-huh.
So you do the little trick with the griffins to be able to have only 8 people in and out of the portable hole, and you are all there at the way in, and she wishes you all good luck, and then begins to cast a teleportation circle back to the city, and while you fly off to the forest that you see off in the distance.
And we drop them off right there.
Yep, and you get 15 miles so they're flying 40. Let's see if they go. I just gotta do this real quick. I gotta do D&D math, which I don't like D&D math, but we gotta do it. So hold on.
Is that like Navy math?
Yes.
Yeah, it basically is. So yeah, it's going to take 3 hours for them to fly you to the edge of the forest. And then it's going to take you another probably 4.5 to 5 hours to. There's a path, so there is, fortunately, a small but well-traveled path that goes from the way in to Altand. Altand happens to be the main village that connects the people within the forest to the outside world, and specifically to the way in. All right, so as you get to, so you're in the forest. So the Misty Forest. Here we go. So you're in the Misty Forest. The Misty Forest is called that for the very good reason that the mists roll into the forest from the nearby marshes on the other side, right? The what is it called? The high moor. So the mist roll in from the high moor and create a dense, often impenetrable mist that, as well as incursions by various creatures such as trolls, undead, other creatures that come in and try to ravage the forest and are constantly being fought off by the elves. So you follow this trail, and you see signs of life. You hear birds chirping. There are very large winged insects flitting off in the distance and between the trees. And in the distance, you see a village. You see through the trees. You see what looks like the beginnings of platforms and kind of buildings, both on the ground and further up in the trees. And you've come to the village of Altand.
As we're traveling in, I'm sure we'd be watched, and I'd be doing small gestures I know the wild elves would pick up as gestures of showing respect to the forest.
And as you approach the village, you do see guards quite a few standing at the entrance on the path. And one of them steps forward and holds the hand up and speaks out in common. Halt! We are in sad times in Altand. Outsiders are not welcome right now. I am sorry.
Okay, under what orders are we being sent here? I know we're here to try and vacate this dragon, but who are we being sent to do this for?
You were sent by technically the Alliance themselves.
To talk to who? Not this guard, but
So
is there
you
who?
would
Okay, now also using mercantilism, would I know who the king, the queen, the whoever
well,
the
the king
head dude?
is King Melendrock.
Well, she was in the Alliance.
He is, yes.
So then I will say King Melendrock is awaiting us.
Um,
We are from the Alliance, and I will do whatever I know is the proper gestures or signs, as Luna was doing in greeting this elf. Since I am variant, I'm not elfish, but I want to be. But I'm not.
You are an elf.
But I am.
not
I'm an elf.
the same type of elf, yes.
Right.
And actually, and the elf kind of looks at you and says, "The king is not here, but his son is. Wait here." And
Do I know the son's name by chance?
yes, Aligarthus.
Then I will say that Aligarthus is waiting for us, so you might want to make this fast.
And
tell him the heroes of.
He's already walking away.
All right.
Turned his back to you.
Oh,
True elf.
So
the heroes of the world are here.
Yeah. So,
Elves can be so snooty, and my nose.
So after a little while, you see. Okay. I guess I don't have that picture. You see a very well-dressed elf come up with greens and browns fringed with some purples and gold, wearing a beautifully crafted longsword, an ashen longbow on his back, and wearing a little circlet around his head, dark hair cascading down to his shoulders, and he nods at you all and speaks some words to the guard, and the guard steps aside, and the well-dressed elf steps forward. Welcome! I am Prince Aligarthus, and my father said you would be coming. So, welcome to Altand. I'm afraid they're still rebuilding from the attack, even though it has been some time. They were one of the first, or they weren't the first place hit, but they were not the last. I recently arrived myself, wanted to see firsthand this village that survived better than others the attack of the dragon.
How far away is this village?
You're at the village.
Okay, I didn't know if it was another village outside of this area. Okay, I asked him, if not today, tomorrow, can we see the damage done?
Right now, come look around, and you see there are whole burned in terms of not burned, but I guess blackened, so
charred.
Really poisoned, not charred, because green dragon breeze is really poison. There's huge, so in the middle, on the ground in the middle of the village, is a broken statue of an elven figure carrying a bow, partly overgrown with moss and ivy. And the left shoulder and arm is broken off and lies on the ground at its feet. Anybody with religion could make a religion check looking at the statue.
That's proficient in religion or just has religion?
In this case, anyone could make a religion check. Alamir, you recognize this statue as one of Enzem of Sulinor Thelandira, which is the elven god of hunting, archery, and survival.
I ask if there's anything that any of us can do before we head off on our investigation, or that you need from us while we are here.
Well, my father sent word you were coming and asked that I smooth the way for your investigation. I'm needed back at the capital soon, but have about an hour to spare to ensure you are welcomed and provided whatever information you need. We are lucky there are many survivors. At the other settlements, Chuth claimed the life of every single last adult and child. Those who survived may have information for us. So, and you see, like I said, some of the platforms up on higher levels are being repaired and rope bridges being reconstructed and pieces pulled up and put back into place. Various sides of some of the buildings are being reconstructed with new and a lot of the construction, some of it is old wood that is fallen or from dead trees that is being reused, while the living trees themselves have been grown to create a lot of the walls and such. And so those that were torn apart can't just easily be replaced the way they were. They're doing temporary construction with like frond leaves and vines to seal off various broken areas. There's also to the west, off to the left as you walk into the village, you see a large plot of graves with a lot of freshly dug graves where there's a good number of people that are over there obviously saying prayers.
Right. I ask him, is there a place we can sit down and talk?
Probably we should go to just some of the survivors and see what they can tell us.
Then take us to who you believe would be the best source of information.
He looks over at the people at the graves and says, perhaps we could talk to some of them later. We leave them in peace while they give their prayers. And so he walks over to a group of two male and a female elf who are busy weaving together a wall piece. And he says, excuse me, perhaps you could tell us something of what happened in the attack. And they all turn and immediately they bow. Oh yes, Prince, of course. Well, the dragon came from the sky. It first came into the center and landed on the statue and broke it. And then it breathed a green cloud of poison engulfing everything, and our kin just began falling left and right within the cloud. And the woman speaks up. Yes, and then others came next, dressed in robes and masks. They killed everyone they could find, fighting or running. Our priest Thelin tried to rally and lead us in defense, but he never had a chance. The dragon swooped over and swallowed him whole. And the third man says, "Ah, yes. There was an elf riding atop the dragon, commanding it. I remember that. And our warden Galen mustered a defense, and we attacked back. Thank Sylvanus he survived. Without his magic, we wouldn't be standing here telling the tale." And the woman speaks up again, says, "Yes, thank Sylvanus he survived. Suddenly, then the dragon just left, and so did the humans. They had come from nowhere, and then they just left as quickly as they came." And the second man looks thoughtful and says, "Aye, they didn't take anything with them. They simply left."
What direction did they fly or go?
There was fog, mist everywhere, and they just disappeared back into the mist and the fog. It was and in all directions. And nobody was going to. Well, we don't know where they went. Nobody followed them. We were just glad to be alive. Luna and Alamir, you both notice that Alagarthus seems a bit dumbfounded. Got that expression on his face. As soon as they started talking about how the attack ended suddenly.
You're muted, Steve.
I'm gonna wait until we're away from these people, and then I'll ask Alec Garthus if there's something that strikes him.
He thanks them for the stories, and clasps a hand on the man and one of the men and the woman, and says, "Yes, Sylvanus has protected your village, and we shall rebuild. We shall remain strong and take care to make sure that this doesn't happen again. That is why these people are here. Take heart. Be strong. Care for those that survived, that still live, and show the proper respect and remembrance of those that are gone." And they all nod their heads. And he steps away and walks away with you.
When we're off earshot, everybody, then I'd ask. There seemed to be something that struck him about how they disappeared.
Well, as I was saying before, this is the only village where everybody was killed or taken. The cultists raided and didn't stop fighting until all were slain, or else they were confronted by a superior military force. It wasn't until we began showing up in response with great numbers, and every time they attacked, they took as many of the riches as they could carry. Amber jewelry, honeymead, fine leathers, works of wood art. Something had to have changed, or else maybe they had a different motive for attacking Altan. It just doesn't make sense.
What's different about Altan than the others?
Well, there were no survivors. Perhaps maybe the warden Galen. Maybe his defense was more effective than elsewhere.
And out of character, as I reflect back with the talking with his father, did his father mention how his son viewed that it may be the other son leading the attacks or not?
No. In fact, he did not. He talked about Prince Alagarthus. I think you were told, yeah, that the son didn't believe that it was his brother. That is what you were told.
I do gently ask if there's a possibility that this might be a kin of some sort.
That what that they knew people here
Maybe kin of yours.
of mine. What are you saying?
Have you and your father talked?
Yes, we talk often.
I understand you have a brother.
Yes,
I'm trying to be very tactful and gentle.
my half brother who has not been in this part of the world for over 10 years. He has been quite a while since he was exiled.
If I remember correctly, they mentioned that Elf was riding the dragon. Was there any resemblance? Like you, I'm just in search of the truth.
My brother had much potential and ability, but to be a dragon rider, a dragon tamer, a friend of a dragon, I cannot believe that. That was not. He was a headstrong dreamer, petty individual. And he is long gone. He is not. He was also, I think, smart enough that he would never, ever return.
Alright, I don't want to respond to this. I hope you're right. I myself have had family I felt that way about that has fallen to the forces of our foes.
Mm.
I hope for your sake you're not on the same path I have been. And your family.
Well, I must say that if it is my brother returned, he is still not welcome.
Back.
So,
All right, what did Luna break?
Everything.
Probably.
We will do what we can. And I turn the conversation over to others. I think Alamir wanted to talk to you, by the way.
Yeah. Shall we go talk to the warden? Seems he had a major part to play here.
That sounds like
Sounds
a great
good.
plan.
So he asks some little directions and is pointed to a modest dwelling suspended among iron-strong boughs up on the upper levels of the village. So you travel up on some newly constructed rope ladders and cross a bridge and find yourselves at the entrance of the dwelling, and the prince leads you stepping into a cozy little sitting room. you see a slim elf sitting at a desk who stands to greet you all with a tight smile as a raven is perched on a nearby cage, begins cawing loudly and incessantly. Over the cawing, the elf says, "Welcome to our village. How can I be of service, my liege?" And the prince says, "Galen, is it? We are told that you led a defense that led to the retreat of the attacking forces. Something other villages were unable to accomplish. I commend you on such actions and beg you to indulge these friends of the forest in answering their questions and hopefully giving them information that could help in this investigation." And the warden looks quietly for a moment, tight-lipped, and nods and says, "Of course. What questions do you have?"
How soon after the attack did you know the attack was going?
It couldn't have been, but almost instant. It was within moments. The crashing and breaking, the dragon landing in the center of the village, the breathing, his breath engulfing huge swaths of homes and people. You couldn't miss that, even if you couldn't see it.
And where were you at that time?
I was on watch on the eastern edge. And he looks down.
Can you tell me which direction did they arrive and leave?
They came from all directions. They had surrounded the village.
The dragon.
I do not know. It just came out of the sky.
Is there any one certain direction that they left, or did they just come and go in an unorganized fashion?
Oh, they disappeared the same way they came. They melted back into the fogs and the mists. They could have come from any direction.
Was there anything specifically targeted, or was just everything targeted?
They came to kill, to destroy. Isn't that obvious? Anybody who wishes can roll an insight check. Yeah, Zem.
Yeah, that was a natural. Mm.
Yeah. Zem, you notice that there is something really bothering this elf, the warden. He's holding something back, something very painful.
So the prince is in front of him. The group of us are in front of him. He may have some sensitive information to share. Got it. How do we want to let that come out? Because in front of us, it probably isn't going to come out. You know what I mean? In front of the whole group, especially the prince. Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Throwing it out there.
That's why I was trying to prepare the prints for the possibilities. In my
And also
conversation.
just throwing out, I would just say, like, you can't really metagame this because you are in front of these people. You're the only one who noticed it.
Yep. Is there any chance, because we don't have a group layout or anything, is there any chance to, is there anybody else to talk to here besides the warden?
There are a good number of people in the village. There are dozens of people who survived.
What I mean is, does the warden have anybody else near him that we could question? And while the group is questioning him, I could maybe have a chat with the warden separately.
No.
No.
Nope,
Okay.
the warden's in here by himself.
Okay.
I would just do it, Sam. Go for it.
Pull the Band-Aid off.
Hey, I rolled a 20, so you have to tell me stuff. So does that work? That didn't work. All right.
So I'll give you this. You know that there's a personal pain, that something happened during the attack that is eating away at this man's soul. A great loss of some type.
Okay. So many sacrifices have been made. It's clear you and everyone here have made great sacrifices. Is there anything else that would help to learn and understand better what's going on and how else we might be able to help? Do you have any information that could be valuable, even if it's perhaps not easy and convenient to talk about?
We lost many. Look, everybody lost someone they loved. As I said, I was on the edge of the village when the dragon attacked. I came running back.
Your loss is as important as everyone else.
I couldn't save her. I could only, from a distance, watch as the dragon killed my wife.
I am so sorry to hear that, sir.
I, like everyone here, we are in grief. I'm sorry. I do not have any more information that could help.
What can we do to help you?
I just keep us safe. Let us rebuild. Make sure this can't happen again. That is all that matters.
We will do our best.
Zem, make another insight check with advantage. Yep, didn't even need advantage. With the insight you had and what he has added, you feel the truth of his guilt for the death of his wife, but you can tell that he still has not revealed the whole truth.
Okay.
He is hurting. He is lost. has guilt over the death of his wife, but there is something else that he is holding back and not saying.
Sometimes there are things that you don't always remember that are actually kind of important. Can we actually sit down and have a longer discussion on, getting into the details? And
No, look, I have told you everything that I know. I don't know anything more.
I do take a glance over at, is it the prince? Yeah, the prince.
Yep.
Prince, what's his name again? Aligarthus.
Yes.
Yeah, Aligarthus. Okay. And do I see any interesting reactions from him? Eyes, mouth, anything that's like saying stop or proceed, or is he indifferent to the whole thing?
He can tell that you have some insight. And was intrigued and interested in the additional information that came out, but seems also sad and sympathetic with this man for his obvious pain and loss.
Sure. Now, okay. I will go into a relatively, starting at the beginning, a boring conversation, talking about regrets and doing things that are hard and things that are emotional events. And I will share that a long time ago, I felt responsible for my brother being abducted, and I'm still looking for him. But yet, sometimes there's information that if you share, even if you don't want to share, can help get to where we need to get. Because you just said, please help us. Please make sure this doesn't happen again. I think that's in fact, that's a very fair request. For us to do that, we need to know all of what you know. Can you help us? Can you help us for your wife, for your family here? Can we help you? We just need to know everything.
So I'm just going to do this way. You won't have advantage on this, but you are going to. So Jinkin will put a hand on your shoulder and say, and as you begin to talk, and say, and just say, this man knows pain. And you have inspiration, bardic inspiration, on a persuasion check.
Okay. Inspiration, but not advantage.
Correct.
Right?
Technically, it is like advantage. I mean, you can roll, and if it's not good, you roll again. Or
no,
is it just his +1?
It's just a D10. It's just a D.
No.
Oh, jeez.
Well, you can't fail a skill check, so that's just a 1, but roll the
Yep.
D10. You might get better.
Roll a D10. Just roll a really good D10. So a 15. Well, the DC on this was actually 15. Galen takes a deep breath, closes his eyes. He looks at the prince. He looks back into your eyes, and he looks down at his feet. And then he just collapses into the chair he was sitting in that he stood up when you came in. I didn't know what to do. I saw my wife killed by the dragon. People were dying all around. I grabbed some of the elves that I had trained, and we ran into the battle. I was at first I just thought to kill and revenge and join my wife, and then I came face to face with an elf. I recognize an elf of our people. I didn't recognize him, but I felt like perhaps he had some power. He was in charge of the masked ones and wearing robes of purple. I quickly fell to my knees, dropped my weapons, and I begged him for my life. For the life of the people in the village. I offered him anything in return. I just keep seeing the face of my wife and of others that we have known all our lives. He looked down and took me up on the offer. He agreed to spare me and to leave the village intact, what was left of it, in exchange for information on other settlements.
And what did you tell him?
I told him locations and defenses of several of the other settlements, and those are the ones that they attacked after.
Are all the places that he directed people to, or the directions that he gave, have those settlements already been hit? All of them?
So he would have given them information on the immediate settlements in the area. There were 5 of them. And according to Aligarthus says, well, 2 of them had already been attacked immediately before this one. The other 3 were hit after. So yes, they have all been attacked.
Okay. So the information given as far as its usefulness was received and used. Okay.
There is a place that he contacts me. He sends me messages, and I'm supposed to give him more information, or else he'll come back and finish the job. I do not know where the lair is, but I have watched the dragon flying off from the couple of meetings that we have had due southeast. And I've noticed that this elf's clothes and hair are often wet, drenched in water.
So I ask, Aligarthus and Galen, all right, well, is there a waterfall or a river or lake somewhere nearby, or something that would cause wetness?
And actually, I'm going to change, because that doesn't make any sense. Hold on. Not
Yep.
northeast. North. Due north. Let's just say due north.
Okay. I just changed the note. No
Yes.
problem. All right. So I say somewhere in the north and not real far away. What is there that's wet that would make sense? It's like a waterfall, a lake, a river, hell, I don't know, whatever.
Aligarthus thinks and says, well, to the north, eventually you run, well, let's take a look here. just real quickly. Back here. Yeah, northeast. Eventually, you run into the River Delimbier, and like to the north and northwest, and to the northeast, and to the east, you run into the High Moor. There's lots of water on that edge, around that edge of the forest. I'll tell you what. Spot, you want to roll me a 2d10, please? Okay. Then Alomir, you want to roll me a d20? Okay.
Big numbers.
Big numbers. No. That's the extent of his knowledge. He's like, the forest is large and away from our villages. It is dangerous. I've not spent much time outside of the villages of my people. I'm sorry. So, I mean, I can take you to our meeting place and show you the direction the dragon flies. That's the best I can do. I truly do just want this to end. I feel terrible of all the deaths, but the attacks were coming anyway, and I saved many here.
Well, I'm not sure who your god is you worship, but you should probably get right with him or her or it. And then Aligarthus and Melindrock will take care of what makes sense for you. But either way, we will do what we can to go after and eliminate the threat if we can.
So it would be what, 12, 1, 4, around 4 in the afternoon, 4:30. By this time, around 4:30 in the afternoon. So you have a few hours of daylight, but that's it. But Galen nods, and Aligarthus puts a hand on his shoulder, says, You will most certainly answer in some way for these actions, but we shall leave those decisions up to the king. And Galen simply nods, goes back to sit down, head down in his chair. And Aligarthus walks out with you, and he says, well, I must leave soon. Get back to the capital. I'm sure Galen will help you when you're ready. If you wish to leave now or in the morning after a night's rest, I'm sure there's those who will help you find safe respite and a nice warm meal.
That may be
fine.
Yeah, that would be great. Speaking of which, are we staying overnight or are we going to try to go now? Probably stay would be my guess, but I'm just asking the gang here.
Alamir's ready.
Ready to go?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm good either way.
Okay.
All right. So you want to go? Want to leave right away?
Yes.
Okay.
Spot, you have any opinion?
No.
Okay. Okay. So go it is. He just said go. So that's what we'll do.
All right. The Aligarthus will wish you good luck and head back down. Actually, we'll grab Galen, and all of you can head back down to the floor level. And Galen walks you a bit north of the village to a little glade. So it's about just a mile and a quarter north of the village. And there is a large glade with a little opening in the trees. The trees are more spread out here, and he says, "Yeah, this is where we have our meetings." And through those trees there, and he points to the north and a little bit to the right. So like northeast by north, just slightly off from due north. He says that's where the dragon comes from and where he flies back off to.
Okay.
Good luck. I hope you find him and can put a stop to the further raids.
We will do our best. Thank you.
So back into the Misty Forest. There is no trail here, other than occasional deer trails and the like, trails of animals. The mists, as you head further north, get a little denser. But your visibility is still, a good, depending on the area, anywhere from 300 to 600 feet. So it's not terrible. You're traveling along. What is the order?
Want me or Zims to go first?
Spot's not a bad leader, depending on our scenario and what we're trying to get done. His movement
Very
is,
true.
Yeah, I can always stay 50 feet ahead of you guys and then basically run back to you if something happens.
Yep, sneaky or survival.
Yeah, because I'm happy to be the frontline tank making a lot of noise. But if we want to try something other than just, rocket into something,
Who would do that?
Yeah.
That does not sound like us. Smart walking. What is that?
I know. What is this? What is this? Yeah, what is this? Yeah. Oh. All right. So you said 50 feet ahead is what works for you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that gives me an extra 50, or I got 70-foot movement, so I can move back to you guys and then around.
Okay.
Okay.
So he's 50 feet ahead. Oh.
Again, we got communication through the thing, and I'll be quiet and cautious.
Excellent.
Keep my
and
eyes
everybody
peeled
has
for whatever.
And everybody has the
and I have
usual
stealth,
water breathing.
So Spot, you are walking up ahead. You're whispering communication, things that you find back and forth. Go ahead. Are you trying to be stealthy or just plain scout?
If I move stealthy at half my speed, I'm moving at the speed that they move. So yeah, I would say I am half speed stealthily moving up front 50 feet away so that if I come out of stealth, I can run back to them within one round.
Excellent. Go ahead and roll roll me a stealth check.
$19.
Excellent. Okay. You see up ahead, you see a little, like there's a deer trail that you step on, like, is there. It's much easier to be quiet on a deer trail than walking through the broken brush and twigs and stuff. And so you step onto it, carefully checking around, walking forward, feel like you're very quiet. And up ahead of you, there is the crunch of some kind of large tree, the crack of like a huge branch or trunk, or like a tree falling down, and you hear a female voice cry out, "Ah! Ah! Oh! I'm trapped! I'm trapped! Someone help me!"
I radio back to them, and I proceed quietly and cautiously up to that point, though. Still,
Would you like us to stop, or do you want us to proceed in a hurry to you?
I will leave that up to you guys. I just say there's a woman calling out in pain, and I'm going to go investigate it.
How about this then? We will wait here. You let us know if you need us. Oh, by the way, good luck.
Sounds good.
Go ahead and make a perception roll.
$15.
Yep. So up in the distance, along the trail, just off to the side, you follow the sound of the voice echoing around the trees, and you pinpoint. It's interesting how it's actually even easier to pinpoint voices in the woods than it is in the middle of a city, because a lot less surfaces for the sound to bounce off of.
Yep.
You see a very old woman. Looks human from where you're from. You're still quite a ways away. But you see a gray-haired, scraggly gray hair, and there is this huge tree. It's probably good 12 to 14 feet across. It's tough to tell exactly from the distance you're at. You're probably still a good 350 feet away. And it is laying across her. She is like an arm and a shoulder and her head peeking up out of this side of the tree where it's fallen on her, and she's like shaking and yelling and screaming, "Please, it's crushing me! It's crushing me! Someone help!"
If I believe it's a real threat, which I think I do, then I would radio for them to come up and help and walk over to her and assess the situation.
Okay.
All right. You walk up, and she sees you as you're walking up. She goes, "Oh, thank the gods of light and good. You have come. Someone has come. You've heard me. Oh, what a blessing."
She look
please.
like she's looking around at, like, as she's saying this so loud and bold out into the...
Yeah,
or is she more just focused on me and her pain and whatever?
Well, now that she sees you, she's focused on you.
Okay.
And she goes, please, can you try and lift this? I just need
I'm a skinny little monk lady. I don't know how much help I'm gonna have.
But everyone else was coming up too, right? So
yeah. So I start looking around for like a rock to put next to it, and then a little bit bigger branch to like try to do a fulcrum thing, and then but I make it look like I'm really weak, and I can't do it until they arrive.
Okay, and you're sitting there and pushing trying to push up, and she goes, "Oh, bless you. It looks like you have other people to help. I'm sure all of you will be able to do this. Please hurry." And
I'm hanging just a little bit back out of sight.
okay. And who's moving forward?
I move forward.
Alamir's going to move forward.
Okay. Alamir.
And he's going to take in what he sees.
Yep.
And I'm going to try to stay as close as I can to have as many people as I can have the +4 to any saving throws.
Okay. So
you bet your bippies.
And the three of you are moving. You move forward. I assume Hef. So four of you begin to go down, and you begin to lift. And as you start to lift up, the tree just rights itself all the way straight up, and the woman,
Yeah.
If she cackles,
and the woman, stands up, and she smiles, huge smile. You cannot see any actual sign of injury, and she says, "Heroes at last! How many might fall back in fear at the sight of a stranger in the woods, or think first of their own safety before helping another? I grant you my blessing. May our hearts prove true where others fear to tread." And she begins to pick flowers out of her hair that you swear were not there a moment ago. And then she twists her fingers and weaves them into garlands, and as if by magic. And she steps forward first to Spot, and she looks as if she wants to put the garland around your neck. Do you let her?
Can I do an insight first?
Yep.
To see how I feel about it?
Absolutely.
I'm very good at this, but I'm going to try.
Sure.
Yeah, I believe her. I bow down. Put my head down.
And she puts the garland about your neck, and then she takes the next one, and she goes over. So on that side, I would imagine it would be like Spot and Zem, and then Alamir and Hef on the other side. So she goes to Zem next, and she holds it up. Do you let her put it around your neck?
Yeah, I'm prepping mine already. Yep. Same as Spot.
Luna's still out of sight, hiding.
That's my intent.
So right now you're not with us, technically, or she doesn't know you're hiding. Okay.
Right. Everybody's
hope.
there except for Alamir.
Or Luna.
Or Luna, I'm sorry. Everyone but Luna.
I will go ahead and have it. Yes, I'll take it.
And she places around your neck. She places a one around Jinkin and Hef's necks. Alamir, she makes one final one to give to you. And as Alamir, do you take it?
I totally blew my insight, so yeah, sure.
Okay. And she says, I know that you are looking for the dragon, yes?
Yep.
You are on the right path. Continue along through, just to the right of north, or just east of north, in that direction. And she points, and you will come to a waterfall. That is the lair of truth. Good luck. My blessing shall protect you. And then she steps back and the tree that stood up splits its trunk into two big legs, and three other trees that were back about 25 to 30 feet both stand up as well, and the four trees follow her off to the west. And she walks away with the 4 trees.
Can I do an insight, see if I can figure out what I just saw?
You don't need an insight. You recognize the magic she was doing, and obviously friends of treants, that she would be a druid of some power.
If I would have known that, I would have walked up and said, "Thank you for supporting my friends," and drew it, and just left it at that.
Yep. So we can say that you saw her doing this magic, and you would have walked up, and she would have looked at you and said, "Thank you, but why did you not come forward to help?"
Not knowing your intent, my goal is to protect my friends so they can achieve protection of the forest and the kinsman here.
He was protecting our 6.
Mm-hmm. And she looks you right in the eyes and says, "But what if something had happened and they had failed and gotten hurt trying to move the big great tree without you?"
That's what I was there for, their backup if they got hurt.
And what I will say, with our strength and what we have, if we can't do it, he would be there to.
I'm a little girl.
Exactly.
Well, I do not think you deserve it, she says to you, Luna, but
I totally understand.
my magic
Thank you for helping
my magic
them.
does no good unless you all wear it. So she makes another garland to put and steps forward to put it around your neck.
I accept gracefully.
Is there anything we can do to help this area in your name that you're not already doing while we're here and passing through?
Your current goal, the mission you are on, is help enough.
Okay, finish that job. Got it.
And then she walks away.
Okay.
All right.
So we roll forward north by northeast.
And I will say, she would, as she put the garland around Luna, would look around and say, "So you know, specifically this magic will protect you from the animal spies that the dragon has around his lair. As long as you wear them and don't draw other attention to yourselves, he will not know that you are coming, at least not through his spies."
Okay, very
Good
good.
to know.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And you continue on. So you travel in that direction for about another. So it is. You encountered the druid just as it was getting dark. At this point, you've traveled like the better part of a full day. But the question is, so like you've. She would also actually give you a little more information. When she told you that the direction and the waterfall, she would have told you a distance too. So you have traveled approximately about 4.5 to 5 miles north of Altand at this point. And she would have told you that the lair was another about 25 miles to the north. So as it begins to get dark and you know you have about 25 miles left to go, what would you like to do for travel?
Just to know, as a backup plan, do you have Lehman's tiny hut loaded?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So walking speed, 2 miles an hour or 10?
So it is. So the way that similar to the image that I chose for the Misty Forest, it is not quite. It's not smooth, but it's not quite difficult terrain. You could easily travel, or relatively easily travel, 30 miles or close to 30 miles in a day with a strong march. At least, or actually, I'm trying to think. What is my thing? 24. No, don't worry. You could make it the rest of the way in a day with a strong march.
Okay.
But it would be nighttime again, or close to it.
But we can arrive nighttime and go into a tiny hut, which makes us unobservable, and we get a full night rest with no issues.
So, but would you like to travel further tonight or wait till tomorrow?
I say we get as far as we can today, and that way we have less to do tomorrow.
So about 10 minutes before we reach exhaustion, that's when we stop.
Sounds good.
Well, continuing on from this point, you will roll for exhaustion,
Okay.
but you will, in a night's rest, regain a single point back, as long as you get your night's rest. All right, so you continue on. You travel for another hour. I need everybody to roll a Constitution saving throw, please.
And everybody gets a +4 if they're around me within 10 feet.
In you? I was gonna say, oh.
I know that was a bit awkward. Sorry.
So I got a 9. Probably still
29.
I've told you guys I'm tired.
Whoa. So a saving throw, you do fail on a 1. So Spot and Zem, you each have a point of exhaustion.
So do we want to stop here so they can recover overnight?
Yeah.
So you have traveled in an hour, I believe that's 3 miles. So you've traveled an additional 3 miles.
So 22 to go.
Yep. So that's better than you were. So you put up the tiny hut, and you rest for the evening. And everyone gets a nice long rest in the tiny hut. Another 17. Gotta put the 17 back. Actually, I probably could have just done a simple click and it would have been. No, 17. Okay. Go back here. Okay. That did it. All right. Next day, you wake up, you have breakfast.
2d8 plus 4.
And you continue on. Same thing as before. Spot's 50 feet ahead.
Sure.
Seemed to work pretty well.
What was the 2d8 for, Almer?
No, I'm putting the charges back on my staff.
Oh, yeah.
And since we slept the first night, second night, so that's all of them back. That's
Cool.
what. I forgot to do it the last 2 long rests. So
All right.
back up to 20.
Spot.
And I didn't blow it up.
Go ahead and make another stealth check for today. $16. Excellent. So you were walking along.
Still a little tired.
Yeah. So you're walking through the forest, and you travel all the way through to lunch, and you guys stop and you have lunch. You've seen signs. You've probably seen a deer or two hopping off through in the far distance through the thickets. You've heard animals, seen plenty of insects buzzing around, and all the normal sounds of the forest. But as you can, after lunch, you continue on, and after about an hour and a half, the sounds begin to dwindle. You stop seeing deer, any large signs, or hearing it off in the distance. The fog becomes thick. Not so thick that you can't see for a decent amount, but now it's thick enough to limit vision to like 100 to 150 feet. And the ground begins to get a little, the trees become a little smaller, and become a little closer together, right? As trees, smaller trees, block less shade, and so it becomes a little denser. But still, it's relatively easy to walk. Although you're beginning to notice that the ground is a lot more moss, and it's a little damp and squishy. There's a lot more moisture in the ground here.
In the morning, the ritual for water breathing is still effect for 24 hours.
Okay.
And I have my familiar.
Got it. So, you are, so you're traveling through the brush, and you guesstimate you're probably within about maybe you're probably you guesstimate within 2 to 3 miles. You're definitely within 3 miles, you think. In your best guesstimation, this would be Luna, who would probably be doing the evaluation, Luna and Hef, based on what you've traveled and what you were told. So you think
let
you're
me
getting
roll
close.
survival.
No, it's okay. Just as a passive, you would probably be able to guess that. Spot, go ahead and make a perception check. Spot, you have been walking along, noticing the ground, up in this. What is going on here? Hold on one sec. I got to put you on the map, and then you guys got to. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to do this. That one's okay. Just the tokens are off in hit points for some reason. That's what happens when they get put on a map. They keep the hit points until there's updates when you're on the map, which is really weird. I don't know why it does that. Okay, I think that's all correct. So you've been walking along, Spot, as quiet as you can. I'm going to have to modify this just a little here. Let's do this. Elamir, where is your owl in relation to where you guys are?
Within 50 feet of me.
But up ahead, like
It's up ahead, above us. Give, say, 30 feet, 40 feet up into the branches. So you said the mist was covering 150 feet, well within visual still. So we'll say 100 feet away at about 30, 40 feet up. So just doing a circle, as we're walking, keeping a circle around us.
Okay. I'm just going to throw
lazy circles in the sky.
Got it. I'm going to put him over.
Do you want to have that out if it's not normal to this forest and they have little people that find things?
Okay, my owl, he's camouflaged. He kind of looks like a harpy. He's got really long tail and really scraggly feathers, and he talks.
Makes him
really,
stick out even more in this forest than the other.
Exactly.
The other
he's a swamp
birds
owl.
are gonna notice him and report him to the dragon, which gives us away. Do you want to have him out?
He's a swamp owl. You know what? Just for the heck of it, we're not doing an owl. We're gonna do a snake. He's gonna be on the ground, hissing along the way. Nah.
Whatever. I'm just telling you, it gives him a reason to find us. So. I would have told you this when we woke up in the morning.
As I was casting my snake.
Let's do one more
You're
retro
doing
thing
whatever.
before we
Go ahead.
continue here. So in the because there's one other thing I think we could cover. So Luna, you were going back to the research that you were doing and the people you've been talking to. So you had talked to Melanor Fellbranch, asking him about green dragons, right?
Yes.
You had been talking with the creature, the frog creature that had done all the research on dragons.
White dragons.
Dragons in general and white dragons in particular.
Yes.
And there are certain things that you do know that many adult and ancient dragons have in terms of abilities. The first thing is that if you sleep within 6 miles of a dragon's lair, people will often dream of the dragon. It invades their dreams. Just the magical power of the creature. The other thing is if you're within a mile of the creature's lair, and if you speak its name, the dragon instantly knows it and hears everything that is said within a certain distance of that spot for a time.
I would have made sure and let people know not to speak the dragon's name for sure.
And finally, you know that if the dragon, if a creature dies anywhere within a mile of the lair, it can review the last moments of that creature's life as seen through the creature's eyes.
So if any other dragon dies within a mile?
No,
Any
creature. Any creature. Yep.
I would also let them know that we don't want to kill any creatures and share that information with them.
Right. When you're within a mile.
Along with, yes.
So.
Along with the dreams and stuff like that.
So, all right. Back to Spot. Spot, you get an uneasy feeling. You can't quite tell why. And then you notice straight up ahead of you in the bushes, there is movement. With your perception, you notice a glistening black appendage just sticking out just barely with spikes in it. And you instantly recognize the attacking tendril of a displacer beast. And we're going to move everyone over.
Do we think we're within a mile of the lair?
We were 23 miles.
You thought you know you're within 3 miles. You don't think you're within a mile.
Okay.
And so I'm going to just real briefly show that. Wait, hold on. What the heck? What did I do there? No. Map. No. Where did that go? Layer. Map. There we go. Sorry about that. I don't know how that
Thought
happened.
that was fog or something.
There. That's what I meant to do. So I'll give you guys a choice. It's too close to start a fight, so we're not gonna actually get into it right now. But especially the way everyone's been rolling, would you like to roll initiative now or when we catch back up when we start next week? Your choice.
The laws of statistics says I should roll now in order to make up for all my ones.
And Alomir just already kicked it off, so go ahead and roll your initiatives.
There it is.
Cass, the hut, and we'll run into Hut and hide.
There you go, Sam. Look at you.
Well, looks like it was a good choice for several people.
2 of you. Elmer's halfway there.
And Spot, go ahead and roll for Hef.
Yeah, I was just bringing up his sheet again.
Yep. I will do...
I gotta select him, right?
Yep. Jenkins.
We should have like special like ability to hit displacer beasts because somebody used to use them so often. So
That's right. We know all the weak points.
mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to just do this. That's what you see. We're going to do a initiative roll. So far so good. All right. So that is what you see so far, and we will pick up there next week.
And we're not within a mile, so
You don't believe you are?
we think.
Both Hef and Luna are relatively certain that you're beyond a mile, based on what the druid told you.
In my knowledge.
All right.
Okie dokie.
And that is the end of episode 58. So thank you, everybody, for playing. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks to everyone out there watching our adventures. And until next week, until next time, may your lives be filled with peace, joy, and love. Bye, everyone.